Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, Joe Biden says, and his team says, there's just nothing we can do about gas prices. You know, you have to be living under a rock, paying attention to what's going on in our political sphere, to not realize that they are going to try to take gas prices and turn it into green energy. But you know what, folks? The American public is not going to buy it. And there most certainly are things that they can do, and they know it. Google it, check out the executive order that he issued. I think it was his first day in office, reversing all Trump's energy policies. Self-inflicted wound, political Munchausen. Diesel prices have soared to an incredible level, and it affects 3.5 million truckers. Think about the economic impact. Double, triple whammy. We now have supply chain issues, and on top of that, he layers that upon us for inflation. Fuel prices is the number, it's just like that article I wrote. Fuel prices are the number one inflationary problem. It affects every single working American. It affects every employer, every business. Just think what some of these companies like Amazon, FedEx, Peloton, I mean, they endure. There is a funding crunch for U.S. oil drillers. A severe funding crunch, which is part of the issue. The energy companies responded to good old Psaki, pointed out that she was full of inconvenient truths. The majority of Americans believe a 1930-style depression is coming in the next couple of years. Well, why wouldn't you think that? Hyperinflation. I mean, we just don't have inflation now. We got hyperinflation, at least with gasoline. Grain prices, the highest in 60 years. Okay, let's talk about the importance of grain for our food supply. Yeah, grain's pretty much in everything. Beginning with bread. Think about what that does. Restaurants, groceries. I wanted to give Oracle status to this Canadian sniper who went to Ukraine to snipe. And apparently there's 20,000 mercenaries outside of Ukraine who are going to Ukraine to help fight the Russians. It's going to be bad. And by the way, yesterday we saw where they're talking about this very civil, some people even used the word docile invasion, where they hit a maternity ward. A maternity ward. And I want to just, right near, I can say, I differ from most of the people that are on my team, on my political side, who think that we should not got involved in this. I want to reiterate to you what I think we should have done. We should have put NATO and U.S. tanks on the border, and this thing would have never happened, and taken over the air space over Ukraine. We would have done those two things. Putin would have never done a damn thing. And those of you that think Putin has some kind, I'm dealing with this with some of my supporters. They think Putin's got a white hat. Really? This guy's a stone cold killer. I ask these questions because I have to admit, I feel like I'm pretty damn smart. No false modesty for me. Who believes that NATO, a NATO country, and Ukraine would ever invade Russia? Nobody. Nobody. For Putin to act like he was being threatened, bullshit. Total bullshit. NATO and Ukraine's never going to invade Russia. It's a joke. It's a joke. There's no justification for this war except his power hungriness. Gas, LA, $8. Sorry, Trump, you were wrong. It's $8, not $7. Chernobyl, they've turned off the nuclear reactor. They think something could be cooking soon. They better be careful. Meltdown, here we go. By the way, nice little defensive technique, I think, by the Ukrainians. Why not let all the Russian soldiers think that they're about ready to be nuked by released uranium? Maybe they'll all leave the country. Airlines have slashed flights because of what's going on. There's now 11 million job openings in this country. Think what that does to inflation. Because to get people, you have to pay them far more than what you want to pay them or can afford to pay them. Amy Schumer, she's a little wench related to Chuck Schumer. She says any comedian that's been canceled needs to stay canceled. Oh, eliminate the competition that way, huh, little Amy Schumer? By the way, I want to let you know that I'm not for fat shaming. I am not for fat shaming. But when you've got somebody like Amy Schumer who throws bombs at us and everybody else, I would like to point out that Amy Schumer's gotten a little bit chunky. Digital dollar. Joe Biden has said that he's all for the digital dollar. Here comes the United States and the globalists going to control digital currency. By the way, the whole crypto thing, I don't understand. To be honest with you, it makes no sense to me. I can sum it up this easily, and I've asked this some people that run hedge funds and whatnot, and they agree with me. If cryptocurrency is supposed to replace the dollar, an alternative to the dollar, well, why does it get traded like a damn stock? Makes no sense at all. The value of the dollar goes up and down incrementally. It doesn't go up like, oh, cryptocurrency is now selling for $40,000. What? It's all like a manipulated thing for people to get rich. It makes no sense whatsoever. I think cryptocurrency is the greatest economic con created in a long, long time, maybe even ever. The FBI says there's massive fraud in nonprofits with the old government PPE COVID money. Imagine that. Learning outcomes have worsened by double digits the last 2 years. Is that a shocker? Think about the impact that losing 2 years. I don't know about you, but when I was in college or high school, if I missed a class, I missed one day, you were behind, especially on issues like math, because math, you build upon what you've learned. So just think about how this has affected learning in our schools. Good job, lockdown people, including Governor Steve Beshear. $13.6 billion approved by Congress for Ukraine and protect their borders and aid and all that. Couldn't give $4 billion to finish the freaking wall. Hypocrisy. Finally, last but not least, tomorrow I will be back on Facebook after a 30-day suspension. You can't make this up. For posting a meme joke about Chinese prostitutes. I mean, unfreaking believable. Why? Because China controls Facebook. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you have a great day.